Tomorrow?
Yeah.
That was mean. Who said that?
It's actually due tomorrow.
No, who said that?
I said that.
I heard it somewhere in there.
I heard it.
Okay, guys, welcome back from your long rainy weekend to a rainy Monday. The only thing I can say about rain,
It's actually been a good
That it's bad. And it's
no, it's good, it's cozy, it's good for writing. I would like to see a show of hands. Did anybody write on their myth this weekend? I don't judge you if you didn't,
6
you know.
people went.
Okay, your myth. Write on your myth. You thought about it. Okay.
Actually,
So-
about my story.
I thought about it.
You guys, half of writing is inspiration. So I really want to encourage you to think about a place that you can go or something you can do nice for yourself to be inspired. When I was in college, I had a really crazy place that I would go to do any homework when I really wanted to knock it out. It was the Duke Hospital waiting room. Isn't that weird? But nobody was ever there from like 11 o'clock at night until 3 a.m. And there were vending machines and doctors would walk through. That was like my little place of inspiration. Maybe yours is the library or Starbucks or your room with a candle lit. Just some place that inspires you, okay? But what I'm assuming, even if you didn't get half of this written, I'm assuming you got half of it written. And we are moving ahead. So what we're going to do today, this week, is every day I'm going to give you a little part of your story to tweak. And today the part we're going to tweak is characterization. But let's look at our rubric first. Okay, so this one with all the lines. You're going to hold on to this, and this is going to be attached to your paper that is due next Monday. Now, when is Mr. Smith's version due?
Next Tuesday.
This is the day after yours.
Okay. So, that's not necessarily bad, but remember I did offer, there's an optional due date of this Friday. If you turn it in this Friday, I will guarantee that I will give it back to you on Monday. That's a pretty fast turnaround. That would be if you wanted to make any changes in order to turn it in for Mr. Smith on Tuesday. Okay? Not essential because I feel pretty confident that if you're following these guidelines, you're going to turn in something that he likes anyway. But if you would like that, I am offering that. And on Friday, if you turn it in, this is different. It's not due until the end of the day. We'll have some time in class that you can work on it, okay? So end of the day Friday, beginning of the day on Monday. Andrew.
So for Mr. Smith, it's due next Tuesday, correct?
Next Tuesday. For us, it's due next Monday.
Got it.
Uh-huh.
Oh no, fair thought.
Write them down when they come to you, okay?
Words.
Okay, so you guys.
I remember. I got it. Sorry. Will this be counted for the end of the quarter? Will this grade
Yes.
go in?
So our quarter ends a week from Friday.
Wow.
This paper will be in this quarter, and you will have a test a week from Friday. So you've got a quiz this Friday. So you're going to have a quiz, a test, and a paper. So roll up your sleeves and make the next 2 weeks like strong. Okay, that will close out this quarter. Okay, let's look at this. Your
When does the
rubric.
quarter end?
There's a couple things I want to say about this. If you'll notice, the points are laid out really clearly. So under structure, we're going to talk about setting tomorrow, and we're going to talk about imagery. But are you using 5-sense words and strong adjectives? Today we're going to talk about character development, but you need to not just have a protagonist, you have to develop them. You have to include an antagonist, and I might even put in there a believable antagonist. Somebody that's believable that you don't just throw in there to be the random bad guy, but you can understand their motive and why they're doing that. You have a clearly defined conflict, rising action that draws interest and builds suspense. Remember, you don't want a plot line like this that's just flat. You want this mountain of conflict where it's suspenseful, there's obstacles. How is the protagonist going to overcome? Okay, you need a clear climax, a clear resolution, and you need to have a theme or a message. Those cloth masks are so hard to talk in. Okay, so that's your structure. Then your style. Oh, you guys are going to love this. You are going to have diverse sentence structure. So 3 compound sentences, 3 complex sentences, 3 compound complex, and 3 VSS. What is a VSS? Okay, Hudson, how many words are allowed?
Up to
3 to
6.
5.
5. 3 to 5. 2 to 5, right?
Okay, so let's just say less than 5.
3.
So is it like 3 to 5?
Yeah, but you could do it with 2. Okay?
You have it with one.
So, no, because you have to have a subject verb. Okay? So, so you need to have these different, and you are going to label these. And here's my desire is you would have most of your paper done by Friday, and on Friday when we're doing editing, you would be labeling. Okay? I'll talk about how to do that later. And then tomorrow, we're going to talk about literary devices, simile, metaphor, alliteration. So all of this you have to label. Okay, Eli, what happens if you don't label it? What does it say on this rubric?
Less than 1.
What's the penalty for not labeling under style?
Minus 10 points.
Minus 10 points, okay? So these are a lot of papers. It's gonna help me. And I wanna know also that you know what is a compound complex sentence. So let's say that you label it wrong. You will only get half credit. No, you won't get any credit. If you label it wrong, you won't get any credit. So you wanna make sure, and that would be a really good way to spend your time on Thursday and Friday asking me, hey, I'm not sure this is a compound complex sentence, is it? Okay? Okay, mechanics and grammar, that's all stuff you know. MLA, checklist, punctuation, capitalization. So does anybody have any questions about this? Okay, so this is going to be turned in. So save it. You get 2 points for having this. Back up.
So, we wrote a paper in humanities for like the bronze bow, and we had to have like a theme. Do we have to say what the theme is?
Yes.
Okay.
So
Like at the end?
It's like a wall.
there's two things. One is if you're doing a creation, that's your theme. Like if you're
Okay.
telling me how coffee was created, that's your theme. It's a creation theme. You don't have to state that overtly. But if it's more of a action, like antagonist, protagonist, there's 2 there, and there's one. This one's open up if you want to come look at it. Then you need to say, Pandora learned that curiosity is a dangerous thing.
At like the very end?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay, so your message you would need to state. Andrew.
So, my rising to action, my story's like, it's 2 full pages, but like, it happens a little fast. Like, is that okay?
Yeah,
Okay.
that's great. And last night when I was writing about Athena, I was like, you know what? I don't really need to say how Ares is gonna send her to, I don't need to give too much background on that. Ares hates Athena. So you decide where you wanna like expand and give detail and where you just wanna state the fact and not give an explanation. Thank you. Okay, look at this character development. I wanna talk about this real quickly, and tomorrow you are gonna need a character development paragraph that I check off. And it can be in your paper. I'm gonna come around tomorrow and you might say it's right here. It's paragraph 3 and I'm just gonna scan it really quickly. But I want you to have one paragraph where you have made an effort to really acquaint the reader with your protagonist. So, your protagonist has to do the following 3 things. Dominic, can you read those? We're on character development now.
Okay, so confront a problem, stir sympathy in the reader, and song.
Can you be really loud?
Okay. Confront a problem, stir sympathy in the reader, and song.
Okay, so those 3 things, that's the minimum for any protagonist. Now, some of you have your protagonist being helped. Like my protagonist, Athena, has friends that are helping her. And that's okay. You can have allies. You can have people that come in and help. But you want to see that your protagonist is somebody that is active in the solving of the problem. Okay? Now, it's also helpful to consider other aspects in developing your protagonist. So, Leah, can you read those bullets?
Yeah. Physical appearance, personality traits, family background, character strengths, character flaws, personal challenges, insecurity, handicap, anxiety, depression, goals, dreams,
have to include all of these. These are just ideas. You know, maybe your character walks with a limp because they had an accident when they were a child. Or maybe they have a stuttering problem. Or maybe, you know, for the winter months, they're always really gloomy. Just anything that can personalize your character endears them to the reader. Andrew.
We have to have something like that, or can you just be a regular guy?
A regular guy has qualities. Okay?
So it
like,
can be like good qualities too.
they can be good qualities.
So like, you could have 6 toes, but like,
Does it relate to the story?
that can
I don't need to know that there's 3 freckles on their left ear if it has nothing to do with the story. And I've got 2 examples here. Okay, and I don't want it to be so strained. Alex, can you, okay, so there's 2 examples. I've got a good, and it kind of ran off, and a better. The good is where you just have a paragraph and you list qualities. Some of you might do that. The better is when you weave the qualities into action. Okay? So Alex, read the good paragraph.
Okay. Athena is medium height with honey-colored hair and aqua blue eyes. She is the daughter of Zeus and her mother is Metis. Athena has many older brothers and sisters who are also gods and goddesses. Ares is her half-sister and is known as the goddess of war. Athena is strong and wise. She loves to read and discuss and debate. Everyone admires Athena, but no one feels particularly close to her. Some would describe her as detached. Athena's main desire is to see humans educated and preserving world peace.
Okay, so that's a little bit what I would call a data dump. It just gives you facts about her. I don't read that and feel drawn to her, but right now, you guys are just writing a short story, so I'm not expecting you to have like a top 10 character development. This is the minimum of what you can do. And in this minimum, notice that I didn't name her siblings. I didn't think it was necessary. I didn't say what her character flaws were. I just said a little bit about her physical. I didn't include all this. I just picked a couple things so you could get a visual on her. Does that make sense? Okay, Addison, would you read the better one? Loudly.
Athena swung her long, honey-colored hair. She walked outside. A normally calm Athena was greatly troubled. Her brow was furrowed and her aqua blue eyes were dark. She took a deep breath to help her focus on the problem at hand. She had just learned that her younger sister, Ares, god of war, was planning to banish her to Hades. She had always known that Ares was jealous of Athena's relationship with her father Zeus, but how is this possible? The wise Athena typically could solve any riddle, but she could not fathom how Ares would have the power to send her to Hades. Clearly, Ares had a plan, and Athena was the sage on Mount Olympus. Where could she hide?
Okay, so the conflict is being set up and Athena is being described. Does that make sense? That, and I'm just weaving it in, trying to give some description as I'm developing the conflict. So that's another way. So the first paragraph, the good one, I would say that's a direct description. The second one is better. It is an indirect description, but they're both giving me a better idea. Now, I would think that the second paragraph would personalize Athena more. But I just want you to spend some time. Here's what happens. There's 2 types of writers when it comes to creative writing. There are people that just want the action. They're all about the plot. Get this thing moving. And then there are people that are all about the description. They are describing the setting. They're describing the people. And there's no action. I want you to hit both. Okay.
So do we have to have the character development paragraph in our paper?
Yes. Yes. Somewhere in there you need to weave. So how could this look? Like today, last year I gave my classes a worksheet to fill out and I checked that out, check that off. But today, really what I'd rather do is you've started writing, so I'd rather you weave it in. So 1, you can write a separate paragraph. Now, you might decide to change it for your final finished paper. But go ahead and write a paper about, or a paragraph about your protagonist, or you can take a paragraph you've already done and you can weave in some character qualities. Becca?
So would it be okay if I like started a new document and I wrote this character development?
Yes.
And like you just looked at that and then I put it in my story?
You can do it either way.
Okay.
You can either have a separate doc and I'll come around and look at it. It doesn't even have to be printed. I just need to see it on the computer tomorrow. Here's the only thing I want to say is if you do a separate doc, remember, you're going to be graded on character development in your paper. So don't just do the homework assignment and then neglect to put it in your paper. Bless you. Okay, questions? Then go ahead and clean your hands and grab a computer. Uh-huh.
We'll just put a different paragraph and then like indent it in the paper. That's right. Oh, hey guys. Oh, hi.
Can you stop it? Can you just push the stop?
Oh, I